In this video we're going to be showing you how to make this fabulous cheesecake, fabulous enormous cheesecake. We'll also be explaining how we make it a little bit healthier than our normal cheesecakes that we make for people following a low carb diet. The most unhealthy ingredients in this cheesecake are the white chocolate and the biscuits for the base, and in this one we've replaced some of the white chocolate with 85% cocoa solids chocolate and some of the biscuits for the base with almond flour. If you want a more strict low carb cake, you can replace all of the biscuits with almond flour, and you can replace a bigger proportion of the white chocolate with 85% cocoa solids chocolate. So there's options of how healthy you want it to be, and you can change those options according to your own taste. Start by greasing your springform tin with some butter and then lining it with parchment paper. We use a large springform tin. This one's about 27 centimeters, and this does turn out to be a pretty gigantic cheesecake. In order to make the cheesecake a bit healthier, we're not using sugar, but we're using xylitol. We're also replacing some of the white chocolate that we normally use with 85% cocoa solids chocolate. The white chocolate has about 50% carbs, but the 85% chocolate's only about 20% carbs. So it's a bit more healthy. We use Oatie Crumbles for the base. Normally we would use 2 packets, but for this version we're using 1 packet and 160 grams of almond flour. So we'll put the biscuits in the food processor and grind them up. Add the almond flour. And then add 130 grams of melted butter. Mix it up, and when it's mixed, you can put it in the base of your springform tin. So that's that, and then put it in the fridge. For the topping, you need 230 grams of butter, which you need to chop up quite small, plus 300 grams of xylitol. That's about 3/4 of a mug. So we'll chop the butter up and add the butter and the xylitol to a large saucepan. So now we're making the topping, and in one saucepan there is, what's that, 1,000, two of them in this pan here. It's like Fanny Craddock and Johnny, isn't it? So that's the butter and the xylitol in the pan, and in the bad old days we would have been using sugar instead of xylitol. Now I don't think you can really tell any difference in the taste, but apparently some people can get a bit of an upset stomach from eating too much xylitol, so it's something to be aware of. But as I say, this cheesecake will be big, and you will get probably 15 slices out of it, so the amount of xylitol you will have in one slice isn't really that much. So once that's melted, you can add the rest of the ingredients, the soft cheese and the cream and the mascarpone. there we are. That's it. Next thing to put in is some vanilla essence. That much.
Low heat.
Keep stirring until it's mixed together. In the meantime, you'll need to melt the chocolate. This recipe started life as white chocolate cheesecake. The white chocolate is probably the least healthy thing in it. So what we've done is to replace some of the white chocolate with 85% cocoa solids chocolate, and we're using, I think, about a third of our chocolate is the 85% cocoa solids. This white chocolate is about 50% carbs. So we're putting 400 grams, so you're going to have about 200 grams of carbs, but as I said, divided between 15 slices, it's not a huge amount. The dark chocolate is only about 20% carbs, so it's altogether probably more healthy, and you can use more of it. You can choose your own proportions of white chocolate and dark chocolate. Don't use any white chocolate if you don't want to, just use dark chocolate. And I would suggest, I've never tried doing that, I would suggest you might want a bit more sweetener in there if you don't use any white chocolate. So the next stage is to melt all the chocolate in the microwave. So that's all, that stuff is pretty much mixed together now, and at the same time we're starting to heat up the creme fraiche in a separate pan.
Let it boil now.
We're letting it boil. Apparently we're letting it boil. So there's the chocolate after 3.5 minutes in the microwave.
High power.
High power. You do need to cook this. This is the cream. Do need to cook this for a few minutes. It tends to go a slightly darker yellow colour. There's the creme fraiche there, melting away.
Continue stirring. can put gelatin on.
So now we're putting in, how much of this we're putting in, Dolly?
You can put 2.
2 leaves.
Three.
Or 3. 3 leaves of gelatine. So that one is the creme fraiche, not quite boiling but nearly boiling, and now we're going to put that in there.
Switch off now. Creme fraiche. Now it's thickened a little bit.
So this is starting to thicken up now. So there's the base that's been in the fridge for about the last hour, and here comes the
the topping. And I did mention that this will be a huge cheesecake, and it's huge. And so we filled our springform tin, our massive springform tin, right to the top, and there's still loads left over.
You put it here or in the big one?
Whichever you think.
Huh?
Whatever you think, Dolly. Yeah. So the leftover stuff we put in a dish, and we just kind of call it chocolate mousse. It's cheesecake without the base, but obviously you've still got to eat it just the same. There it is. So now you let these cool down, and when they're cool, put them in the fridge, and after about 2 or 3 hours you can eat it.
It's a finished product.